Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Rob Jr. This is my channel, Creative Rob. Thanks for tuning in. I have another painting to share with you, and this one's called Unstable George. And to start off, I usually like to go into Procreate and sketch something out, and that's what you're seeing on the screen right now. Procreate's just an app that you can use on your iPad with the Apple Pencil and sketch stuff out and paint it. Do some digital illustration. So I found that this is one of the best ways for me to start the painting and get everything figured out before I do it on the paper. Now, like I said, it's called Unstable George, and it's kind of a play off of Curious George. And the paper that I'm using is a 16 by 20 inch watercolor board by Canson, and it's great paper to use, especially with mixed media. And what I'm doing right now is just sketching out the gorilla, and I'm just using a pencil. And this is a mixed media painting. Oops, sorry about that. Got a text on my phone while I was recording. I'm going to be using India ink. That's what I'm applying right now. There's my dog. That's my loyal sidekick, Dean the dog, and he likes to sleep during my videos. So I had someone ask me about why do I put an X over the eyes, and I do it for a number of reasons. When I'm not the first one to do this. If anyone knows Kaws, the artist Kaws, Kaws, he does this in his, and this has also been done in older cartoons where people they get hit in the head. They might get hit so hard they kind of lose consciousness, and you'll see X in the eyes or represents death. For me, I kind of leave it up to the viewer, but I like to think of it more as someone's had a hard life. They're kind of rough around the edges, or even just on a different level than most of us. For me, that's kind of what this represents in the characters that I create. And this isn't to be taken too serious. It is I like to say, pop art. And basically, I'm just trying to create a style and have some fun. I get tired of things being too serious. I want to play around and enjoy myself. And it's kind of what I'm doing here. As you can see, these are some in my series. I point this out every time. That one, that one, that one, and that one. And here's my, this is kind of a, probably shouldn't show this, but I'm going to go ahead and show it. This is the paper. This is the back of the paper. It's Canson watercolor paper. Here is the final drawing, painting. It's pretty rough. I like it though. I like it that way. Unstable George. I will be getting a white frame for it like those. Now, this is one of my favorite parts when I start putting the watercolor on. And it's looking pretty good. I have to be honest though, there's a certain, I almost overdid it with this. I pushed it a little too far. I had to do a balancing act. I went over the edge and went too far. I had to bring it back and went over again, and I just had to keep working it. It was like this, and I just had to keep on doing it until it centered out, and almost gave up on it. You know, there's a fine line, and it can be easy to overdo it, especially with mixed media and painting the way I am. So here I'm just speeding up the drying process using a blow dryer. I should do one of Dean. Hey Dean, you want me to paint you? Come here. Hey Deanie, come here. Come here. Oh, that's a good boy. Look at this dog. He's the cutest thing in the world. Yeah, he's a good boy. Yeah, I'm gonna do one of Dean. What, you don't want me to? He's so cute. Alright, so here in the background I started with ballpoint pen and started creating just some sporadic squiggly lines everywhere. And then on top of that I use a watercolor pen, and then I sprayed it with some water and let that bleed out. And I let that, before I use a blow dryer on that, I let it dry into the paper so that I could so that the blow dryer wouldn't move the paint around and it would leave that bleeding effect. And so now I am just going in and adding some watercolor to give the background some color. There's Dean being a cutie. So, got a new shirt as a hood. It looks funny with my headphones. Like, yeah, I've been trying to do the stitch clothing thing. That's been pretty cool. Pretty convenient, especially with COVID going on. You don't have to go shopping, it just gets mailed to you. So I'm darkening up the background. I felt like that was a little too much orange. At this point I was liking it, but I felt like his face was just popping out a little too much. So I'm gonna start. I've said this before, especially in this series, when the face pops out too much, it stands separate than the background. Like it's almost in a different atmosphere, and that's not a good thing. Get a little comfortable. So I started adding some orange to it so that it would bring the two together, the background and the foreground. And now I'm going in on the face and darkening that up to help it not pop quite as much. Alright, breaking out the oil pastels. Putting in some baby blue highlights. See, I'm really liking it right now. that's looking good. I almost wish I would have left it there, but I don't know. I like the end result. It's messy, but that's part of this style. There, I mean, I'm just flinging paint on there, or India ink, and now I'm going in, putting my hieroglyphics. It's not really hieroglyphics. It's my version of hieroglyphics. And the background, those three lines under, 3 lines here, and it's just a repeating pattern. And now I'm going in, darkening the background, getting it messy. And this is where I felt like I started losing it, and I was like, on my last one I added some designs like stars and little faces in the background, and that looked good, but I think I overdid it, and it seemed like it's too much, especially when I filled in that heart. I was like, oh god, that looks terrible. I need to fix that. Everything was just popping too much in the background, taking away from the main subject, Unstable George. So I start smearing the heart to make it fade in the background. I actually got a palette knife and just scraped it off. It's oil pastel. I just started using scratching the palette knife on there, dirtying it up and giving it scratches. And which is a technique I use in my oil paintings. Now here I'm adding some more watercolor over the top of this. Now I'm going in with some gouache paint, and I am just going right, just using the tube like a paintbrush, just right on top of the painting, just drawing. Now I broke out my palette knife and I'm smearing that stuff in. It was just standing out too much. Here I'm like freaking out a little bit. I lost it. I felt like I went too far. Then after I smeared it around and smudged it, gave it the scrapes and made it a little rougher, I ended up liking it a little bit more. So I went and dried it and went back over top, added my hieroglyphics and scratches and stuff like that, and adding in some more highlights, adding some more India ink, outlining it a little bolder. This one was very messy, a very messy painting. But I like it. Now there I'm using some watercolor pencils to give a little more detail. And that's about it, guys. I'm just wrapping it up. Again, here's the finished piece. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Be sure and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. That'd be so cool. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. And Dean says thank you. Say thank you, Dean. He said it with his eyes. Well, that's it, guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you on the next one.